Hello, welcome to Shite Talk, an Irish history podcast. My name's Kevin Larney, and Jason Brennan is in Morocco, or somewhere like that. I wasn't really fully paying attention, but he's gone anyway. So this is an episode, or at least the start of an episode that we did for Patreon, which is more or less us just reading tweets from David Simon, who is the celebrated creator of The Wire, a show that we both really like. And a couple of weeks ago, he got into a series of arguments on Twitter, all stemming off from a Michael Collins tweet. He retweeted a quote attributed to Michael Collins, and in the body of the tweet kind of compared Michael Collins' actions with what's happening in Israel, Palestine at the minute. And then just kind of took it from there, getting in lots of arguments with Irish people about how they were, wrong and didn't know anything about Irish history. So it's mostly, the episode's mostly just us reading tweets and talking about how he interacts with people, including Blind Boy. But basically, if you want to hear the rest of the episodes, there's another 30 minutes or so up on the Patreon. The link is in the description of this episode. It'll cost about €5-6, and with that you'll get all the other stuff that's up there. I think you can scroll through it and see what's up there before you purchase it. But anyway, we'll have some proper episodes soon, and enjoy the start of this. Even if you just listen to the free version, you get some good Michael Collins chat. And good luck.
Gather around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore, all in search of a glory. The history and mystery of lads, lasses and all. Discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall. Follow me now as we go back in time. We trace the steps of Irish lineage to find Joseph from Carlo and Kevin the dog. Guide you through the ways of Shite.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Israel Palestine at all, really, all year.
No, yeah, because of your opinions.
Because of my strongly held opinions. But now, all bets are off. And you know The Wire?
I do. I should have brought my Wire book.
Yeah, there's probably Wire books in here somewhere. I like The Wire.
I love it.
I love it. I like it a little less now after reading all of his stuff. But I love it. Initially, I read it. My dad, I think, got me for a present a version of the script for the first episode, where McNulty's original name is McLarney.
Whoa.
Terence McLarney. He's somewhere in the background.
Is that even a name?
Apparently, the Larneys went over there at some point and became McLarneys just to Irish it up a bit. A rare occurrence of people adding a Mick or an O to their name as they went across the sea.
Yeah, is that the opposite? Do you think that ye asked for the soup and they said, no, you're still not having it?
We turned in the McLarneys for extra soup. Send them away. So they all went to Baltimore and became cops. He's mentioned somewhere in the first couple of episodes. He was a real cop, Terence McLarney, that inspired some of McNulty's stuff. Anyway, so, we come from good stock.
Just season 5, none of else.
No, season 1, early season 1. The more I read about what David Simon has written recently, the more I'm like, yeah, season 5 wasn't great.
Okay.
that's the last thing he did, and now he's gone on that direction. But all right, 22nd of August, 2024, recently, a Twitter account called Irish Unity posted a picture of Michael Collins for his death day.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a name for that? Anniversary.
Yeah.
He died. Yeah, so he died 102 years ago. They just put up that iconic picture of Michael Collins with his fist up and said, "Michael Collins died 102 years ago today. R.I.P." And then the quote: "Give us the future. We've had enough of your past. Give us back our country to live in, to grow, to love." Which, as far as I know, that's not a real quote. That's from the movie. That's a Neil Jordan quote. So I went on a big tangent because that's not even the point of this bit, but I went on a big tangent trying to find. That doesn't sound like a quote from the 1920s. That's a very, I don't know, something just doesn't sound right about it, and I couldn't find anything definitive, but there's no reference of that quote before the movie. And when you read Collins' speech, like, that's not how people spoke right then. Someone wrote that for a movie in the 90s. That's not the sort of thing that he would be talking about back in the 1920s. He's very much more articulate, and this is, I don't know, this is too...
Don't be saying Michael Collins was articulate. People lose their reverence for him. He's meant to be a big, thick soldier.
He's a good man, but he's good speaking. He's got good speak on him. Yeah, I feel like this is too succinct. This is the sort of thing that, like, oh, that's a good quote for a movie poster. Whereas Collins is like, he's giving speeches on the back of a fucking horse cart in Clonakilty. Like, he's not going for, this will be good in 40 characters or less. He's going for the long haul. Anyway, I don't think that's real. I think it's very funny that it gets posted by Republican accounts and be like, Mick, Jesus, the fucking, of all the things he did say and all the speeches that we have from him, to be like, here's a quote from Michael Collins, the movie.
But now, so because I went down to Abbey Street and I made a video for the Instagram page. Everyone should go follow the Instagram page or TikTok or wherever, YouTube, all the things, and leave reviews and such. But that someone had spray painted traitor over his mural down there. Yeah. Which is, I hadn't expected to see that.
No.
I didn't. I thought everyone kind of loved Mick.
Yeah. Well, there was a civil war over it.
There was, but I think that after all of that, they were like, well, look, he was played by Liam Neeson.
That's true.
And Dev, who was kind of American, was played by an English...
The snake man.
Yeah, a literal snake.
A literal snake, yeah. So, I mean, it's a little biased, the film. But we'll do that. So,
it does paint Dev in a good picture.
Shit, is that today? What day are we recording? I think De Valera died 49 years ago this week. Yeah. Coincidence?
What? How old was he when he...
Oh, he was like 107. Yeah, he was, I mean, not to harp on to the Harry Potter analogy still, but he was, he probably had 7 Horcruxes around the country. 7 Blessed Virgin Mary statues.
Just one in each of the ports, and that's why you'd never give them up.
Yeah, but next year he'll be 50 years dead. So we'll do a whole... We'll figure it out. We'll solve the Civil War next year, right? But for now, let's just say there's wrong on both sides.
Yeah,
which is the wrong answer. But
is that what David Simon was saying?
Maybe, but we'll get to that in a second. I just find that that's a funny quote that people throw around for Mick. So you could spend your whole life just looking at Twitter and never getting anywhere. But I did love all the comments underneath. So initially, Irish Unity posts that Mick Collins, the big man, 102 years, freedom. One of the top 5 responses underneath it was from an account called #Me2, as in like you change me to, you put a H in there.
Okay, for some reason I thought you were trying to say like Mewtwo.
No, he wrote, "I'm sure he'd be stoked about what Ireland has become."
He wouldn't have known what that meant.
No, I looked at his profile. His bio said CA conservative, father, believer, patriot, Gen X, follower of Rule 1, survivor of the China virus, questioner of the narrative.
A couple of questions. Is Rule 1...
As long as it's not against the narrative. Yeah, what is Rule 1? I don't know.
Yeah, and they always start with father.
Yeah, believer. In what? If you have to ask, get out of my country. Patriot. Okay. Gen X. Okay. Follow Rule 1.
People start
I don't know. I don't think it makes any difference. Survivor of the China virus. It's good to have that still in the bio. And you missed that the first time around, did you?
I think so. I was hung up on just that they always say father.
Yeah. CA conservative. I don't know what that is. Or California, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I Googled it and it's a Canadian Conservative Party. He had an American flag in his bio, but he was talking about, I'm sure he'd be stoked about what Ireland has become.
It could be anything. It could be like Christian Alliance.
There you go. But none of his things say he's Irish. Like, what the fuck does he give a shit about what Ireland is? And why does he care what Michael Collins would think of modern Ireland?
That's fair. Usually the Americans would... They go front.
Well, he only had because he needed space for survivor of the China virus. Well, you gotta know he survived the China virus.
Member of the AOH. There's no space for that. I gotta tell him I'm a father and a survivor of the China virus.
He's following Rule 1.
That there are no rules.
There are no rules, and questioning the narrative.
He just doesn't talk about Fight Club.
No. So the narrative is capitalized in a way that makes me think it's anti-Semitic for some reason. I don't know. I don't know, but anyway, so
is it like every second letter is capitalized, but neither of the first letters of either word.
No, the narrative. Listen, I'm just asking questions, all right? But so that's the sort of standard response you expect underneath that, and then all the people being like, "We love you," make sad faces, tear emoji, whatever. The tweet is also retweeted by The Wire's HBO's The Wire's David Simon.
Good name. Right. You can go back to front to back. Simon David. Actually, just by guessing by what you're about to tell me, his name would be a lot more likely to be Simon David.
I didn't realize he was Jewish. Yeah, he is. I thought he was. I assumed he was Catholic. Actually, some of the writing in The Wire. No, he didn't write the whole thing, so I don't know. Because it's very, but McNulty's like good Irish Catholic. There's a couple of jabs at the Protestants in there. Bushmills, that's Protestant
whiskey.
Is he
a good Irish Catholic?
Well, he's a bad man.
Yeah.
So therefore, a good Irish Catholic.
Yeah. He falls in line with the stereotype.
Yeah, he drinks. He has
separated from the wife.
Yeah,
probably for affairs. Was it?
Oh, he's banging around the whole place, but he wants to get back to her.
Internal affairs and external affairs.
Yeah, that's true. He jizzed on that woman's dress. But anyway, so he retweets the picture of Collins, which again is just from a page called Irish Unity, and it just says that he's been dead 102 years, and then some beautiful quote about freedom that is from a movie. But Simons retweets it. In order to achieve Irish independence, he went to the peace table and settled for 3 or 4 provinces, telling allies that in doing so he had signed his own death warrant. He was right. But that is what peace and progress often require, the acceptance of half the loaf. Would the Palestine and Israeli leaderships might each send a big fella to the peace table to get done what obviously needs to be done. But no, they are all much smaller, much more cowardly men. All right. Any notes there? You got the big fella.
That really got me.
Yeah. Would that each would send their own, the big fella. It's great.
Because every cabinet around the world has
a big fella.
Like a hockey enforcer.
Time to send in the big fella. Oh no, they've got a long fella. Yeah. So, before we dive into this, I guess, Simon is one of those people. Sometimes I try and research stuff from Twitter for these podcasts, and when you go on someone's Twitter or Instagram, and
better off not doing it.
But you have to scroll back, like so far. This is from the 22nd, so what, like 8 days ago now. He's made so many posts between now and then, not related to this.
I was going to say
he's just one of these guys who's on multiple times a day, every day, just posting about Trump, Middle East, whatever else is going on.
Fan of Trump?
No, anti-Trump.
Oh.
He is one of these guys that. I was going to say a real Gen X thing. That wasn't him. That was me too. But it seems to be one of these guys who would have been, you're similar to Graham Lennon, maybe. Leftist people who would have been champion things that were against the mainstream, I guess, at the time, but then proven to be right over the years. It's like gay rights, different women's issues, stuff like that. But then they'll get one wrong. I don't know. I just imagine him logging on his Twitter and he's getting like Trump supporters just, sending him a load of shit all the time. And he's responding the same way to them as he will respond to Irish people who are criticizing his takes on Irish history. But to him, I think it probably all seems the same. It's just trolls and people who are wrong. And he's right. He's always been right. And it's the same with Lennon. You just keep saying stuff that's right. And then you say some very stupid stuff about anti-trans stuff. And everyone's like, well, no, now you're wrong. And he's like, well, this is what they've been saying all along. And they'll come back to me. I'll lose my wife, my kids, my job, the respect of my peers, but I'll be right in the end.
Yeah, I'll just start referencing 1984.
Thank God for 1984. Fucking God bless George Soros Orwell for delivering us the greatest text for everyone to fucking reference. Not even quote. You don't need a quote from it. You just reference the fact that it exists, and that is all you need to win any argument.
And then you stop before anyone questions. Did you actually read it?
Oh no, that's so well.
I've seen the cover.
Simon doesn't go this far, but that's definitely that's an approach on Twitter. You just quote 1984, then block, quote and block, duck and dive. Don't engage. All right, but so where have we gotten this over? Picture of Michael Collins, 102 years, fake quote from Neil Jordan saying it's freedom, blah, blah, blah. The only thing I can think that connects them is that there's a Palestine flag in the Irish Unity Twitter. It's Irish flag, Palestine flag.
So that's it. No reference to Palestine, no reference to Israel, no reference to modern whatever. He retweets it and says, you know, in order to achieve, you need to send the big fella. And there was a response to that tweet from another user, at Paul0Neil. He says, comparing the Irish struggle for freedom to Zionism is grossly offensive and comically inaccurate on so many levels. Israel has been illegally occupying Palestine land for 50 plus years with the full support of the US war machine. It meets every definition of apartheid. End tweet. David Simon, one of the most celebrated, articulate writers of the 21st century, who's created one of the most nuanced, interesting, and much quoted and referenced works of the modern era of television,
I mean,
responds.
Just quickly, you say that, but probably the most famous scene from the entire show is shit.
Yeah, and he certainly, that seems like he had a heavy hand in that side of the writing. So he responds to that tweet, eat a bag of stale, unsalted dicks. That's the start of a
He's playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
All of his tweets are like this. So
really? Okay.
Multiple tweets a day, all the time. All of his tweets are very... He sounds like every general in every American movie from the 80s and 90s. All of his tweets are that sort of like hybrid of a, you know, fuck blank or like shit blank.
Mm-hmm.
That never sounds right over this side of the world.
Would salt help the taste of dicks?
Yeah, I don't know. But all of his tweets are just like, listen to your shit brain. Listen to your fuckwad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, step off, dick fuck.
Like a corporal in like a 1990s army training movie.
Yes, which is almost exactly what I said a minute ago. But you're right, yeah. And then just a very long rant about the complexity of the Middle East. But eat a bag of stale, unsalted dicks.